Okay. So 0 viewers. Hopefully we're going live, folks. So we've got a bit of a darker vibe going on here. Taking a bit of rigging up to get everything fixed. Because I like to read standing up. I read better standing up. So it's all those years as a teacher that did it. It is going live. So if you're watching a recording of this later, if I make a mistake, sorry, I'm just going to keep going. So I'm reading a few extracts, for those of you who don't know, from Trespass, a tale of mystery and suspense across time. Recently launching today, May the 15th, as the fantastic new book trope edition of Trespass. I'm trying to do this without giving any spoilers away. So hopefully we'll still manage to leave you in suspense. Now, this book, again, for anybody who doesn't know, has several interconnecting plots set across 5,000 years of history. So I will be jumping about a little bit. I've picked some of the chapters from prehistory and some of the ones from more modern times. So I'm going to kick off. Excuse me, I've had a cold. From chapter 6, which is set in the year 3500 BC. I should do my best with my stupid cold to do a decent job. Berlik barely noticed the sounds of the village fading into the distance as he strode into the night. He thought only of Wiccan and revenge. Sorry, that's a good start. I was hearing a delayed echo through a pair of headphones. I'm going to start again because that was spoiled it. Chapter 6, 3500 BC. Berlik barely noticed the sounds of the village fading into the distance as he strode into the night. He thought only of Wiccan and revenge. Ahead, the path led into the forest, into darkness, into wind-creaked branches and shifting shadows, into the lair of the spirits, the shades. This is their time, Berlik thought. This is their forest. He should stop, turn back. He stumbled, tripping over his feet, but he did not slow his pace. Just you wait, Wiccan, he muttered. You can't stop me with your trickery now. Next to the path, a broad oak stood solid, unmoved by the breeze. And yet its shadow stirred. Berlik did not see. He blundered ahead, noticed nothing. Soon it would be too late. Beneath the tree, a man watched, waited. Clumsy and careless, he thought. This shouldn't be too difficult after all. He readied himself, waited. He had been waiting for a long time. Now he could hear Berlik's every breath. He tensed. His moment had almost come. A heartbeat. And then he pounced. There was barely a whisper of rushing air as he launched himself at Berlik. Even so, Berlik managed to turn to face the danger. His hand flashed to his knife, his knees bent, ready to fight. But it was not enough. Someone was on him, and Berlik was down, flat on his back, the breath crushed from his body. His assailant loomed above him, his weight pressing him down, pinning his arms to his sides. Berlik gritted his teeth, sucked in a breath, and strained to free his arms, but it was no use. There was no escape. You fool, he thought. How could you have been so stupid? Berlik glared at the silhouette of his attacker, bared his teeth, but the snarl died on his lips as the figure slowly leaned down towards his face and spoke. A single hissed word. Berlik! Berlik gasped. This man knew his name, but no one from the village would do this. Who then? Or what? He stopped, struggling. A cold fear squirmed in his stomach. It was a shade. A shade was on him. He had trespassed in their forest, and they had caught him. And now they had his name. And if a shade spoke your name, you were lost. Berlik could feel his strength, his life, draining away. I'll leave you there if you want to know what happens to Burlick and what he's been caught by. You're going to have to read my book in some way, which is kind of what I'd like you to encourage to feel like you want to do. I think there's something for everything, a bit of entertainment. So, excuse me again. I believe they have a button for that, don't they? The professionals, but I don't. So, skipping way ahead, the chapters are very short, so there's lots and lots of chapters, so it's a really nice, fast-paced read. Chapter 25, also 3500 BC. Wiccan often saw wondrous things while kneeling at the darkening stone. Every day in the chill, damp, pre-dawn air, he ignored the pain in his knees and his back and concentrated fiercely on the bright lines of colour trapped within the deep black stone. Each day he went into a trance, forgot the pit, forgot his father, forgot his loneliness and his pain. He was frail from too many years with not enough food and too much hard work. He couldn't keep his body steady for long, and as he wavered gently to and fro, it seemed that the lights danced and spun, twirling into dizzying patterns, shifting into shapes, people, animals, strange creatures. Sometimes his tired eyelids drifted down, and then the visions were glorious. There was no one to watch, no one to shake him awake. This was his daily routine, his life. But now his routine was turned upside down, and now it wasn't dawn, but dusk as Wiccan climbed the stairway. Now, instead of knowing peace, his mind burned with unanswered questions. "The shades will show me what to do," he muttered. "My father will send me a sign." The words gave him strength, drove him onwards, upwards. He must reach the top. "Not much further," he said. The blood rushed, hissed in his ears, mingled with his father's voice. "Don't stop now," it whispered. "If you stop, you'll give up. Don't fail me. Don't stop now." Wiccan dare not pause to catch his breath. He climbed on, forcing himself upwards, ignoring the pain in his legs, his back. But there was a price. Each step steeper than the last, each breath a battle. Sweat ran from his wrinkled brow, but he didn't have time to wipe it away. His legs ached as though they'd been torn apart. He'd worked hard all day, and then, as he'd waited by his hut, he'd been so anxious he hadn't had anything to eat or drink. Wiccan shook his head. The ground shifted, swayed beneath his feet. He fought for balance, took another step. He couldn't see properly. The world blurred, lost its colour. Stumbling, he climbed onto the next step. His chest tightened. He gasped, fought for breath. He must not stop. Only 2 more steps to go. His arms tingled. His chest burned. He clenched his teeth, pushed himself upwards. Only 1 step remained. He gasped, panted. It didn't help. The breath was being crushed from his body. He moaned. "The shades have caught you," his father hissed. "They are afraid of what you're going to do. But keep climbing. You're almost there." "Let me get to the darkening stone," Wiccan gasped. "And you can take me. I don't care. I will stay with you forever. But now I will pass." And with that final spark of grim determination, he hauled himself onto the ledge. And again, that's not quite the end of the chapter, but I'll leave you there to find out what happens to Wiccan when he gets there and untangle those mysteries. I've got another one ready here, which I hope is okay. And just to give you a bit of a contrast, because it's not by any means all set in the Neolithic period, plenty of it is in the relatively modern day of 2010, which I can't remember when I started writing this. I think it was actually after 2010, because that was 5 years ago, for goodness sake. But even so, it's set in that time for specific reasons, which will become clear if you go on to read the subsequent books. Excuse me, let's have a quick sip. Right, medicinal reasons, you understand. And yeah, the modern day plot lines are much edgier. They're contemporary stuff. So you've got, It's not meant to be sort of newsworthy and topical for the sake of it, but obviously it reflects each plot line, I think, reflects the time it's set in. There's also a 1939 stretch, but although I was going to try and read you a bit from each time zone, I couldn't find a 1939 one that I could read without dropping spoilers all over the place, which just seems to defeat the object. So here we are. This is right on quite a way, chapter 59, so it's quite well into the book. It's set in 2010, and we're going over to the first person narrative in the more modern chapters are the main character, who's called Jake, who's a teenage boy. Just thought I'd better mention that, because being first person, it doesn't really say his name. Gosh. Right, oops, look in the microphone. This is why I don't work at the BBC, folks. Right. Chapter 59, 2010. I broke the silence. We've got to hide, I hissed. Matt nodded. Okay, he said, where? Still lying on my stomach, I twisted to look back across the ledge. This way, I said, come on. I shuffled backwards until I was safely away from the edge. Then I got up on all fours and crawled toward the stone platform. I heard Matt rustling through the grass as he followed. There was just enough room behind the platform for us to huddle together side by side, so long as we curled ourselves up small. This is no good, Matt hissed. It'll have to do, I whispered. It's the only hiding place up on the whole ledge. But if they come up here, they'll see us. I ran a hand over my face. Maybe they won't come up. Maybe they will, Matt said. We've got to get out of here. Let's climb up there. He nodded toward the slope behind us. I shook my head. It was too overgrown. We'll make too much noise, I said. They'll hear us, and then they'll definitely come up. We won't make it. Matt bit his lip and shook his head. If we sit tight and keep quiet, they won't come up here. They probably won't even find the steps. Why not? Matt said. You did. But only because Callie, the girl, only because she told me where to go. Matt covered his face with his hands. Oh my God, he muttered. I sat very still, listening. A breeze in the treetops, a rustle in the undergrowth behind us, but nothing from the quarry floor. Maybe it would be all right. We hadn't left a trail to follow or any other clues. Had we? Oh no. Matt, I whispered, what did you do with those tools? Matt winced. I don't know. I think I put them back down on the stone slab. Matt closed his eyes for a second. Yes, he said, I put them back where we found them, on the top. Why? I shook my head. You idiot, I said. If they come up here, they'll see them. Then they'll come over here and see us. Matt swallowed hard. I'll get them, he said. I put my hand on his arm, shook my head. No, stay down. But, I cut him off. Matt, I said, stay down. I'll get them. I brought you in here. Don't blame yourself, blame me. I uncurled myself. It had to be now. If I waited, I'd lose my nerve. I knelt up, peered over the edge of the stone. There was no sign of anyone. I'd do anything, I thought, give anything if only we could get out of here unscathed. I should have known that wasn't going to happen. The tools were on top of the stone platform, but they were on the far side and at the far end, out of reach. If I lay on the stone and stretched across, I could probably grab them. But lying down on that stone, the last time I'd done that, it had scared the hell out of me. Maybe I could sneak out from behind the bank and go around the other side. Could I make it in time? A whistle. Another in reply. They were nearer now, much nearer. I strained to hear through the noise of the wind in the trees. There was another sound. Regular. Closer. Yes, the sound of someone walking through the undergrowth, someone moving carefully, trying to be silent but not quite managing it, someone just below us, someone near the steps that ran up to the ledge. voices, low, muttering. That meant there were at least 2 of them nearby. I couldn't make out any of the words at first, and then it came. The one thing I'd been dreading. A single word. Steps. I'll stop there again. That's not quite the end of the chapter. Just to give you an idea, that was actually almost a whole chapter that I read in those few minutes. Some of them are just a very few pages long. So I'll probably leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for taking the time to either come along to the party or to watch this on YouTube later, or to, if you've watched it live even. Oh, it says 3 people are viewing it there, so that's fantastic. So only for reading this. So thank you very much for 3 people. And I will be sticking around on the Facebook party page a little bit longer. So if anybody has any questions, comments, or, you know, you just like to poke fun at me or something, I don't know, or just say hi, that would be great. I'll be sticking around for a bit longer. It's been quite a long day here of hitting the screens and hitting the keys and looking at the screens, I meant to say. But it's been great, really. So thank you very much to everybody who's come along. I don't know whether, you know, we've shifted some books, maybe a few, but that's not really been the point. I think the really nice thing for me today has been I've actually met a load of nice people, and I think made some new friends online, which is always great. You can't have too many friends. So really just, you know, I don't think it's all about whether you're that interested in buying or not. Just thank you very much if you came along, took a bit of interest, and, you know, give a bit of your valuable time. Really appreciate it. We all have really busy lives. And it's been nice for me to take some time to meet you guys, and I hope you've found something of entertainment or value in the day. So thank you very much. I'll sign off now, not take up any more of your valuable time, but do say hi either here or later. This is going to be on YouTube, of course, so you can comment there. On Twitter at Mikey Campling. Facebook, it's something like author Mikey Campling, I believe. The page. And what else? Oh, the website, mikeycampling.com. And if you fancy, you can read that book, actually, for a limited time. Certainly, you can get that one free by signing up for my newsletter. And you definitely get Breaking Ground for free straight away, which is the slimmer companion book, Breaking Ground, which is an add-on story, a quick read. That is free on Amazon, actually, so on all good online retailers you can get that free. But you can get loads of other stuff free by signing up for my newsletter, mikeycampling.com/giveaway, and giveaways all one word. I'll stick a link on the YouTube video later. So thank you very much. I shall tip my hat to you. Good evening, and good night. Thank you for watching. Bye.